All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Everybody see everything okay there? You should be looking at my MyDesk login.
Yeah, looks good.
Perfect. Okay. So today we are here to talk about Buyside. So the first thing I want to clarify is where you find Buyside. You find Buyside by going to MyDesk. So if you go to jlsmydesk.com, you get here, and this is your login screen. You put in your John L. Scott email and your John L. Scott password, be the same password you use for John L. Scott email, and you hit login. Apparently I can't type today. This is my desk. Let's see, and Jana, I'm gonna pick on you if that's okay. You just happen to be at the top of my Zoom screen here, so
Okay.
Lucky you. All right, so when you come and you log into MyDesk, Jana, it will look exactly like this for you. For everybody else, it'll look something like this. You want to find your Buyside tile down at the bottom of the screen here and click on that, and it will log you into Buyside.
Hey, Colin?
Yes.
I can see you really big, and I see your screen as a thumbnail. What am I doing wrong?
Good question. I've never done that before.
Oh, wait, I fixed it. It's a swap shared screen with video.
There you go.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay, so when you click on Buyside, you're going to see something like this. Okay, this is where your this is what it looks like when you log into Buyside. Now, when we're talking about Buyside, there are really three components to Buyside. There is the lead capture component, which we're going to talk about today. There is the BMA or buyer market analysis side that is really geared to help you on listing appointments. We're going to talk about that today. And there's also the monthly follow-up or drip campaign component of this as well. We'll also be talking about that today. So those are the three components of Buyside. The first thing I would like to touch upon is the lead capture program. The lead capture program is, without you doing anything, already built into your website. So if I go to Jana's website, I'm going to continue to pick on her. So this is Jana's website. Now, without Jana having to do anything, over here, we have this little orange tag. And that is the link to the client side of Buyside. Now, there are more direct links to this. We can talk about that in a minute, but everybody has this on their website. You did not have to do anything to get this. To get it, excuse me, if you're a client and you are on Jana's website and you want to get a home valuation report, you can click on it. And this is where we get to the home valuation page, or the what is your home worth page, okay? Everyone has this link built into their website, and if you look up here, this is what it is. It's your website / home-valuation, okay? So if your email address is, for example, Eric, if you're ericbo.johnlscott.com, you just add the / home-valuation, and it takes you to your version of this page, okay? This link can be put on your email signatures. That's a great place to have it. I would sure put it on any emails that I sent to clients. I would put it on my business card. I would put it on any mailings that I send out. This right here, this link is great, and you should get to sharing it. If I were a client and I wanted to put in someone's address, for example, let's see here. Let's do this with a listing so we can kind of see what's going on here. Anybody have an active listing right now? Andrea, do you have an active listing?
Yeah, do you want the MLS?
No, I actually want the address, please.
Okay, 15325.
Okay.
Southeast 155th Place.
Renton?
Yeah. It's a
Okay,
condo. P
okay,
is in Paul, number 4.
I haven't done this with a condo in a while. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
So I will say that one thing with this system is that it does struggle a little bit with condos because of the address mapping system.
Yeah.
And it looks like it might be struggling. Right, here we go. So this is the estimated home value. Is this right? 2-bed, 2-bath, a little over 1,000 square feet, Andrea?
No, that's a different one in there.
Okay. Let's try it again. One more time with the address, please.
15325. Southeast 155th Place.
I'm gonna do this first one.
It's pending. Does that matter?
No, I'm just trying to, it shouldn't matter at all, actually.
Okay.
So that's not working. And sometimes that happens, especially with condos. So that's one of the limitations of the system that
Okay.
I want you guys to be aware of. It really struggles with things where we need like a unit number.
Okay.
Let's see, Jana or Cassie or Eric, do you guys have any active listings? I want to do this with a listing so we can compare it to a list price. That's why I'm asking for this. Otherwise, I can just pop in the MLS.
I can pull up one of Phil's right now.
Yeah, if you could just give me one of the addresses, that'd be great, Cassie.
Yeah, let me just grab it because I don't have it memorized yet.
Come on, Cassie, memorize that stuff.
I've got a pending listing if you want it.
That'll work, Jenna.
1440 Elk Run Place, Southeast.
North Bend?
Yes.
All right, don't tell me the pending price just yet, but I am going to ask you in a little bit here, Jana. Okay, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,600 about square feet, Jen, is that accurate?
That's it.
Perfect. All right, so if I were a client and I came in here and I put in my house, this is what I would see. I'd come in and I would get roughly a satellite view of the area, and then it is going to give me 3 different prices. One from Zillow, one from Home Valuation, and one from public data. That's if it can get 3 different prices. Sometimes it can't get one of the reports because it won't map on the site. So you might only get 2 sometimes. But this is what they see, and it's usually, this is actually pretty homogeneous. Usually it's a lot further apart. But we've got one at 361, one at 945, one at 969. Any thoughts on why we show them 3?
Well, that's the best part of this system.
Yes. Why is that though, Jenna?
Well, because it helps people understand that that's not an exact science.
Exactly. What we're doing here is I won't say we're trying to confuse them, but we're trying to confuse them. Essentially, what we're doing here is we're showing that there's variability among these numbers, that these numbers aren't, written in stone anywhere. It's just what one robot thinks of your home. So when I come here, there are a couple things that I see as a client. First of all, I can say that I am the owner. I click that button and it's going to ask me to verify ownership. And in order to do that, I have to either log in with Google, Facebook, or LinkedIn. If I want to get updates on this, I have to put in my first name, last name, and email address and hit the Get Now, and I will sign myself up for monthly updates. Do I want an in-depth evaluation? Okay, I can contact Jana. Ooh, there's a thing down here for me to say what the condition of my property is. Oh, well, you know, my house is worth $1.5 million. It must think I'm in poor condition. So I'm going to move that up here. Oh, I got to verify ownership to do that. As we go through this page, we're going to see different buttons in orange. Those different buttons are lead capture. Anything you see that's an orange button is designed to grab your clients or grab the data of the person here. When that data comes in, Jana is notified that somebody wants to get an update on this. And we're going to see where in Buyside that data comes up. So as we go down here, we get a buyer heat map, okay? We will see this in a couple different spots in Buyside, but I would like to explain what this is about. This is people looking for homes like yours in a particular given area, okay? And that's related to things like price range and square footage and bed and bath and things like that, okay? So in North Bend, which is where the property is located, there are not nearly as many buyers searching for an almost $1 million property as there are in Seattle and Bellevue. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
You're gonna see this in certain ways that are sort of, I guess, sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. For example, if I'm looking for a farm and ranch property, Enumclaw down here is going to be dark red, okay? Seattle is going to be pale yellow over here because nobody's looking for a farm in Seattle. So it's based on where people are looking for properties. Occasionally, you'll be in an area over here where there's less demand for the property that you have because people who are searching for properties of that price point are typically not looking in that particular area. And this is for all of North Bend. This is not the particular area that Jan is in. So this is the geographic boundary that it's placing. I believe this is a zip code, actually. So it's going by zip code here. Does this heat map make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's also going to show me the number of available properties by price range in that given zip code, in that area. So in general, there's a real lack of properties in the North Bend area. It's going to show buyer activity in the last 90 days. So these statistics reflect all buyer activity, registered buyers, online inquiries, showing visits, open house signs, etc. So this is all buyer search activity in that area. This shows the online activity within the same school district. This shows the online activity within the school district and within the home's price range. And this is within the school district price range and looking for a 5-bedroom. Now down here, we get to featured buyers in the area. So there are 26 buyers on John L. Scott that have a saved search that are looking for where this property meets the criteria of their search. Okay. So this is a person, this is a buyer, where they are looking for a property, a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath in that area. Same goes for this person here. This person is from the Kent, is a buyer that's associated with Kent North. So these are all, and by the way, I didn't mention, these are all people who are assigned a broker. So all of these people are currently assigned to a broker on John L. Scott. We will see later on how we can do reverse prospecting to contact those brokers and say, hey, I have a house that meets the criteria of what one of your clients is looking for. And we'll be able to reach out to those brokers, not the client, but the broker, and let them know that we have a property available. And we'll see how to do that in a few minutes here.
Colin, I have a quick question about that.
Yeah.
When my listing went live, it was on a Thursday, and we were doing showings on Saturday and Sunday, and I wanted to be able to use this reverse prospecting. But every time I'd get onto Buyside, my listing wasn't there. And then I contacted Buyside, and they said, oh, it takes at least 24 hours. And then it wasn't there until probably Saturday, maybe,
Okay.
or late. And so I really wasn't able to utilize that because I wanted to reach out to the agents like earlier. Is that just how it kind of is?
Usually, my understanding is that it's faster than that, but depending on the Buyside system and the MLS, it can take up to 24 hours.
Okay.
So you went active on Friday, you said?
Well, I went active on Thursday, and I kept looking for my listing in there, and it wasn't there till Saturday.
Yeah,
and
that's too long.
Yeah, it felt, because I totally wanted to do what you're talking about, but I wasn't able to.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that long.
Okay, maybe it was just a glitch or something.
That's entirely possible. I didn't hear about anything being down, but that's possible. So if that happens again, or if anybody here has that problem with your listing, if it's not up after I'd say if it's not there in 4 hours, let me know. And then we'll start reaching out to broker care and Buyside and go from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Supply side trends. So supply side is, let me ask you this. When we talk Buyside, the name Buyside is all about understanding the buyer side of supply and demand. For a long time in real estate, we've had a really deep understanding of the supply side, inventory. It's really easy to see what inventory is. You go on the MLS, that's the inventory. But it's been really hard to gauge the buyer's side of the equation. Buyside is trying to help you understand that buyer side of the equation. This right here is giving you a look at the other side, the supply side that we've had such a good feeling about for a long time. And it's basically going to show the number of homes that sell per quarter in that zip code across all price ranges. It's going to give the median price in the last 90 days of homes sold and the number of homes sold in the last 90 days. Then down here, we've got a couple other options to contact Jana and sign up if they want to, but that's what a client sees when they go on your property, or excuse me, when they go to your website and get a home valuation for their property. We're going to see a couple different ways we can kind of work with this report, but based on what you've seen so far, do you guys have any questions about this report and what the buyer is looking at?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close this once the Zoom thing gets out of my way up here. There we go. So this is a direct link to your home valuation page. I will give you my bias. I think this is the best looking way to do it. That there are other ways to share this. I think this is the best one, but I am going to show you some other ways that you can do that. This is Buyside right as I click on it from my desk. This is what I see right when I get to my desk. I can go up here to Home Valuation Site and click on Marketing Suite. And I can click this Preview My Site button. And if I want, I can use this page instead. This has the exact same function. You can see it's got the rotating pictures in the background. It says prepared by Jana Schmidt. It's got your contact info. If I scroll down here, it's got a little bit more of an explainer of home value estimates, buyer breakdown, and recent nearby sales. Any links that they click to John L. Scott down here, go back to John L. Scott. The Facebook down here would be John L. Scott Facebook. And then the link up here is not connected to your site. It's this generic one. But if somebody puts in an address right here, it does go to you. It doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to John L. Scott Corporate. It doesn't go to anybody but you. I don't like this page because I think it looks a little bit clunkier. It's not quite as smooth. I don't think things lead back to you. And I don't like when you're on it, when it shows you being on a site that is not yours. That's my personal bias. If you really like the look of this and you think that the rotating pictures are what you want, by all means, please use this. But that's an option I want to give you. Another thing that I can do here, I can go here and I can click the share on social media button. And when I do that, it will give me a link here to Facebook, Twitter, email. I forget the plus is. Oh, it's the add this link, yeah. Ignore the plus, it's strange. I can click share on social media and it will allow me to share it on Facebook or Twitter. The other thing I can do is I can go here to this widget. That's what this gear is. And I can take this widget, this is what it looks like right here. And I can copy and paste this into my website. And I can have a direct box that they can enter information in directly from my website. This will work on your John L. Scott website if you set it up properly. And it will also work on a personal website if you have your own website outside of John L. Scott. I'm not going to get into the details of how to set this up properly because that's a whole other class. But if you know how to add HTML to your site, this can be added to your site. With this link and the share on social media button right here, please be aware that it will send you to this website that I just pointed out to you, the one with the rotating pictures. It doesn't send back to the one that I said looks better. So it's going to go to this one. If you want to share this page on social media, all you need to do is copy and paste this link and paste that into Facebook or Twitter, and it will share on social media as well. But it'll come to the page that looks better. Does that make sense?
Will it just be the link on Facebook or will it show this picture?
You won't get this picture. You'll get one of those Facebook thumbnails.
Okay.
Like, you know, if you try to share a Seattle Times article on your Facebook, it like automatically fills in and you get that little Seattle Times thumbnail.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get a special thumbnail for this.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
You can always add your own photo to that though, right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Questions about the marketing suite and everything? Okay. So from the dashboard here, let me show you where people who come to your page go. If I go here to the home valuation site, I can go to this little section here that says My Leads. I can click that. And here are all the people that have gone to Jana's, because we're on Jana's buy side right now, have gone to Jana's buy side and done a valuation attempt. Okay. So for example here, Jana, this is the first one we did where we weren't able to get the correct information. This is the one where we were. So even though I didn't give Jana any identifying information, I didn't go in and give her my Facebook or my email address or my Google or anything like that, I have she has my address because she very likely has my address because she knows what property was looked up. Okay. Now, there is an owner name in here because this is the owner name that came from tax records. And so we were able to get that information in here. Now, if I'm going on to Buyside and I am entering an address, in all likelihood, whose address is that?
It's my address.
Yeah, it's the person who owns the property, in all likelihood. So if you want, the front desk can actually, we have a specific postcard template available. So if you want to send a postcard to someone who has been on your Buyside, you can go and we can set that up for you. And you can send a postcard to people, to this owner, if that was somebody Jana wanted to market to. And it'll go out and you can directly market to that address by mail. If when I was on the site, said that I wanted to get a monthly update about that property, I have to give Jana my name, my first name, my last name, and my email address. If I gave Jana that information, that's going to be over here. It'll have my first name, my last name, and my email address. And then it'll indicate over here in yellow that I am getting a monthly report. So then, Jana, you could reach out to me directly by the contact information I gave you. If I was on Jana's site and I said, I would like to know more, I'd like to get a CMA on my property, it would ask me for my name, my email address, my phone number, and I think that's what it'll ask me. And it will indicate that you have an inquiry here. And Jenny, you would have gotten an email about this. Okay. If I go onto that site and I say, this is mine, I am the owner, it'll indicate that I have claimed the property. And to claim a property, I need to give Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google. And Jana would have that information about me. She'd have my Facebook page, she'd have my LinkedIn page, or she would have my Google account and email address based on this information. Does this make sense? We doing good?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I would like to show you is that this right here, the date from and the date to. So by default, this goes back, what is that, 3 months, right here? This goes back 3 months. If somebody's inquiry, even if you're working with them, even if you're actively sending them information and they're actively getting reports, is older than 3 months, they will not appear on this list. I have to manually go here and change the date. So let's say I want to go back to January. I go back to January and hit filter. And oh, I got somebody else here. Okay, Richard Olson, it looks like, did a Buyside report on Jana's website back at the end of January this year. So this is something that trips a bunch of people up.
So I don't know who that is, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know either, Jana. This trips a lot of people up. I've had people who have been working very hard on Buyside suddenly panic that they're losing leads. If you think you're losing leads on Buyside, go up here and change the date from and expand it out and see what happens. And then it will usually pop back up and you'll see it.
So Colin, in order to receive an email or some sort of alert that somebody has gone in and has done this, they have to have signed up for the monthly or the inquiry part of it, because it sounds like she didn't get an alert about the person in January, and I have a couple people that I never got anything about as well.
That's correct. Yeah, they have to do something. So if they come in here and they just do a search, you're not going to get an alert. If they do something, like they send up from the report, they do an inquiry, they claim a property, you'll get an alert.
Yeah, this gal back in May, she's getting the monthly and she claimed the property, and I never got anything. So if I would go back in my email, what would I be searching for to see if I had missed something? How would I
It would
search
be
for it?
something from Buyside or Get Buyside.
Okay.
I would look back. You might also need to peek in your junk mail
Okay.
and see if it's there. I haven't heard of it going to junk mail.
Okay.
Quite honestly, one of the things that we get a lot of complaints about at the front desk when we help people with their buy side is that when we go in and we create the monthly report for them, people are like, you're putting in 100 of my clients and I just got 100 emails saying that all these people signed up for buy side. So I know that the email notification is working because I hear about it.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe you either just missed it or it got stuck into junk mail,
Okay.
but that would be my guess.
Okay. I'll check it out. The Outlook's not working on my computer right now, so I'll have to do that in a little bit.
Yes. If you haven't heard, there is currently an ongoing issue with Outlook. If you log into My Desk, there's a little
Yeah, I
alert
saw
about
that
it.
when it popped up.
So
Yeah.
yeah, a bunch of people it's not working for. So my apologies.
No worries. I'll look later. Thank you.
So this is the home valuation dashboard. So like we said, you'll get the emails for people doing anything here in the report activity, but otherwise you're going to have to come on a regular basis to see who is doing searches. Questions about this section and what's here? Okay. Couple other things that I would like to show you. I have an out of area section up here where this green button is. If I click on this, it will give me, I'm going to go back here to January, see if we get anybody. Didn't think so. If somebody comes in and does a valuation on a property that is outside of essentially Western Washington, they go into this out of area box, okay? So somebody can come to your page and they can do a search for a property in Idaho or Montana or California or Wyoming or Florida, and it will give them information about their home. But because it's out of area, it's not here, or it'll end up here. Now that being said, there is no reason that you shouldn't contact somebody and say, hey, I don't work in your area, but I'd sure be happy to hook you up with a broker and work out a referral fee with them so that you can work with a qualified broker in your area. So there's no reason to completely ignore these, but that's where they would go if somebody's looking for properties that aren't in your area. The other thing I have here are archived valuations. Archived valuations are, I'm going to see if I can get anything here. Where people go when you either put them in the archive or they decide to stop receiving updates about a property. Okay, so if I go back here to my leads, on the far right, I have a button that says archive. So maybe this was for a seller. This, for example, this person right here, the Family Living Trust. Let's say, Janet, I know this is a pending property of yours, and you have a client and they sell this property. But prior to that, they were on monthly updates. Once they sell the property, they're probably not too interested in receiving monthly updates on that property. If they move to a new property, they're probably going to want to get new updates. So I can go in here and I can archive this, this lead and put in their new lead if I need to. But that's why I would archive something. If somebody goes in and says, you know what, this Zillow thing is just garbage, I don't like getting these numbers, they can go in and they can unsubscribe themselves, and then they would also end up in the archived valuation section. It is possible to download these as labels. I can click the download Avery labels, or I can download results, or download valuation attempts. If I download either the first or the last, I'm going to get a CSV file that I can send to a marketing person or maybe work up on postcards, or however I want to do it, I can do it that way. Questions about this?
No.
Okay. So one question I get a lot is, Colin, I have people that I would like to enter into Buyside so that they can get monthly updates. How do I do that? There's a couple different ways that you can do that. The easiest way that I have found to do it is by actually doing the home valuation yourself. Go into the home valuation section here. I would put in the address, and then when it says on the top right there, there's the section that says receive monthly updates. I would simply put my client's information in there, okay? At the front desk, when we work with people on entering their database into Buyside, that's how we do it. That's the process we have to go through, because quite frankly, we find it to be the easiest. For those of you that weren't aware, that is a service that we do provide. So if you would like to have us go through and help you input your database, or selected people from your database, or people from a farm into Buyside, we are happy to help with that. You want to reach out to either Katie or Sadie here in the office. They're sort of people who are coordinating that at the moment, and they can answer questions you have about what they need from you and what they can do for you, and time frame and turnaround and all that kind of fun stuff.
Okay.
But they're here to help. Yes.
So if me or Sadie enters my clients, we
Mm-hmm.
can't claim them because we can't verify that we're the owner.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay, thanks.
So the claiming thing, or I am the owner, or anything like that, that's kind of BS. It doesn't actually do anything. It's lead capture. So, for example, if I went onto your website and I put in my address and I said I am the owner, and then I go to Eric's website and I do the exact same thing and I say I am the owner, they're not connected at all. There's no, you know, if I go to your website and put in my address and say I'm the owner, and then somebody else comes along 2 days later and is the same property and says they're the owner, doesn't do anything. It's just, it's there strictly for lead capture purposes.
So like Shai put me in her system.
Correct.
So I could go and put myself in my system.
And you'd receive the exact same email that you would get from Shai every month. It would just have your name and your contact info on it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that is the lead capture component of the website. Okay. Anybody have any questions about the lead capture angle so far? Okay. So then I'm going to pivot here and I'm going to talk about the BMA, or buyer market analysis, and how that works with listings. Okay. So the BMA is up here and I can click on it, and it's going to take me to the BMA section here. Okay. Jana, let's stick with that address there from you. Can I get that from you one more time, please?
Yes, 1440 Elk Run, I think it's Drive Southeast.
Yeah.
Place Southeast.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit next step here. So when we get in here, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to have me verify that the details that it has about the property are correct. So it's showing it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3660 square feet, 6,500 square foot lot. Is that accurate? Okay. So we hit next. And it's going to have me set property estimates here. Okay. So this here is where I get to pick the 3 valuations that are going to be shown. And you're probably saying to yourself, Colin, there's only 3 valuations there. Yep, that's right. That's what we got for this one. There can be up to 6, I believe. There can be up to 6. When we get into more rural areas like North Bend, we get fewer. So if we were in Bellevue, we'd have 6. If we were in, since we're in, North Bend or Enumclaw or more outlying areas, we're only going to get 2 or 3. So for this, if I want to include these in the report, I click here and it lights up. And when it lights up like that, that means it will be included in the report. Okay. I can put in my own estimate here. So maybe these are really wrong. Maybe these are way off. Jana, I know it's pending, so you can't tell us the sales price, but can you tell us what your list price was on the property?
$950.
$950. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are actually kind of in the ballpark-ish. So I might come in and I might put my estimate here as $940 to $950. Or I don't even have to do that. I can leave it blank. It's fine. I can hit next here, and it'll ask me to put in a range of featured buyers. So I can play with this a little bit. The idea behind this is a buyer that is looking for your property is going to be looking from a price range from what to what. Okay? If you think it's going to be from 900,000 to $1 million, or 900,000 to $1.25 million, I can take my slider and I can slide it up to $1.25 million here, 1.25. Well, I can only go to 1.14. And I can slide it down to 900 here. And these are the number of featured buyers that will show up, and we'll see how that's going to look here in a minute. But I'm going to hit Generate PDF.
So am I doing this for my listings, my CMAs? What's the application?
This is meant to be a component that goes along with CMAs. So I will kind of explain that in a little bit more detail when we look at the report here. But the application is, this is something that I would either show to somebody who's thinking about selling, or some people drop it off as a pre-listing package ahead of the CMA. It's a really cool tool that nobody else has in our market right now. So a lot of buyers are actually pretty impressed with it. When it comes up here, it pulls up the report, and I'm going to share my screen. Let's see, okay. Do you guys see the PDF now? Should say real-time market report. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right, so this is the report that comes out, okay? This is meant to be printed or emailed like this, but it's set for a page view, basically. I'm going to go to the next page here. It gives some information about John L. Scott. And then it goes through and does the real-time valuations. It shows the 3 public bits of data that we showed, along with what I think, or what Jana thinks the price range is. And then it's going to go through here and it's going to give us the buyer heat map that we saw before. Okay, and it shows buyer demand in a given area. This is something that I can almost guarantee if you aren't nobody but a John L. Scott broker is going to have. I have not heard about anybody else in the market with this technology. So coming out and saying this is what the buyer demand is like in your area is usually pretty impressive to sellers these days, because no one else is showing them that. It goes through and does an online activity breakdown like we talked about. By the way, one thing I didn't mention is that this number right here, the buyer search activity, is not just John L. Scott, okay? This is a large group of websites, including Zillow, Realtor.com. I don't have the list memorized, but it's basically large national websites. It goes through and shows the buyers potentially searching for their property. This is limited to just John L. Scott. These are only people who have a property tracker search saved that meets the qualifications of this property and are currently working with a broker inside John L. Scott, okay? And then those are the pages that it includes. So that is the BMA report, okay? questions about that?
Colin, I pulled one of those up for the listing that I just had, but I
Mhm.
can't remember. I didn't go through Buyside. I must have gone through a different way because that all looks really familiar.
So this is basically a paper breakdown of the real-time home valuation that we did from your website.
Okay.
So it's possible that you just went on there and just showed them that, because
Okay.
it's got the same data.
Okay. Because I had all this, yeah, every single one of those pages and that map and everything, but now I'm like, I can't remember, excuse me, where I got it from, but
Yeah.
anyway. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to Buyside here. Where we go? There we are. Okay. So that is the BMA report. The other thing that we have on here is the reverse prospecting section. Okay. So if I go in here and I go to my listings, I don't think it's going to come up. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so Jana's listing is not showing up because it's currently pending. I know that there is a box there that says pending listings, and there's a box there that says archive listings. The pending listings and the archived listings feature is not active. It's basically, they're working on it. I don't have any kind of an ETA on when it's going to be active. It's not worked since we got it. My understanding is there is a conflict between Buyside's technology and the Northwest MLS. So they're kind of trying to work that out, but I don't have an ETA on it. I am going to switch around here and I'm going to pull up, Cassie, is it all right if I pull up Phil's Buyside?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to switch to Phil. Okay, and I'm going to go here to my listings. And these are Phil's active listings right now. So let's say that we are talking about this property in, I'm going to do the Kent one because it looks like you're already doing this a little bit, Cassie. I'm going to click on the property over here. And it's going to show me the existing or the matching buyers. And I'm going to get rid of that. It's going to show me the buyers that match Phil's property. Again, these are buyers that are currently assigned to a John L. Scott broker in Property Tracker and have a Property Tracker search set up for this property. So if I look down here, it'll show me the degree to which they match. Up here at the top, saved property from johnlscott.com means that this person has saved this property as a favorite. It'll show if these people have been contacted through the system. So in this case, it looks like they've contacted quite a few people, but there's a few here they have not. And over here on the left, or excuse me, the right, I went to college. We've got a contact buyer agent section here. And what I can do here is I can write a message, and you may have already been getting these since Buyside's been around for about a year now. I can go in and I can write a message to the broker that has, brokers in this case, that have clients that are interested in my property, and I can check which one of these buyers I want to send to. I can check the box and say select all, and I can check that and hit send email, and it'll send it to everybody, or I can do it one at a time. Once you send an email out to that broker, that's it. You can't send it again. So you don't have to worry yourself. If you have a list or if you have a buyer, you're not going to get like spammed by a broker out of the Bellevue office who just thinks that sending 100 emails to you is the way to get the property sold. You can send it once through Buyside, and that is it. And in this case, you are contacting the broker, not the client. Okay, there's no way that anybody will ever contact your buyer through this system. They're contacting the broker. How are we doing? All right. One other feature here I want to talk to you about is this thing right here. What if I increase, decrease this? This shows the list price right here. Jana, I'm picking on you because you're at the top of my list, but also you've been working for a while. A lot of new brokers who have been in the industry the past 3 or 4 years have never, ever, ever, ever had to think about what that red sign behind you means. And they've never had to work on a price reduction.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like having to sit down with a seller after about 45 days and having to talk to them about a price reduction?
So my favorite is old school, when I think it was like Mark DeWitt was teaching me to take in something on letterhead that said if no showings after 30 days, then this amount. And I remember putting that in front of a very well-educated client, and they said to me, the wife said to the husband, "Look, honey, we need to reduce the price by 5%. It says it right here." So that was really powerful for me, just learning the power of putting something in writing. So I was hoping you were going to talk about, I knew you were going to talk about that. That's gold. That's really good.
So again, this is a training that we did a long time ago. I sat in on those trainings myself. It was Mark DeWitt. And we basically went through, and we didn't make it up. We actually looked at if you weren't getting any showings on your property, it meant you had to lower it by, I believe it was 10%. If you were getting showings, but you weren't getting offers, that means you needed to lower it by like 5%. And that was the data structure that we worked around. And showing people numbers was one of the best ways that we had to be able to walk into somebody and say, this is what the world is telling us.
So
okay?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I wanted to add to that.
Yeah.
When I first did that presentation with that letterhead, I didn't have the belief myself, the belief system that the price reduction, I was still like, oh, what if this doesn't do it? And what I learned over time is your sellers are really afraid that they're going to reduce the price and still not get the results they want. So you have to show them. And, in the recession, what I would do is I would show them competing properties from the CMA that once they reduced the price they would sell. I really had to convey that this is going to get you the results you want.
Yep.
So that's why I said this is gold. So thanks for letting me interrupt.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it. So if we think back to those wonderful Wild West days of 2010, and we think about what would happen if we had this. What if I decrease this? I'm going to click on it. What if I decrease the price by $10,000? And I hit go. Okay. I suddenly have 5 more buyers just within John L. Scott. Okay. And this chart right here is something that I can show my clients and say, hey, look at this. If I just set this to 0, this is where we're at at 560. If we lower to 532, or even if we just go down by $10,000, we go from 15 to 20. Okay, we've got 5 more buyers just within John L. Scott that show the increase. The other thing that I can do is I can go back and I can use the BMA and adjust the pricing on that and show what the heat map would look like if I adjusted the price. So that's another way if you have a client that's a little more visual as opposed to numbers based. But actually showing we've got X number of more people that are looking for a property that is $10,000 less than yours, shows us the number of clients that we can potentially capture. How would you like to have had that 10 years ago, Jenna?
That would be a lot more compelling than my letterhead, but the letterhead did work. So
Letterhead works. No, I'm not going to knock that system. This is not either or. Do both. Keep using the letterhead. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that when we enter a market where price reductions happen, and we will enter a market at some point in the future where that is a thing. It's always coming. We don't know when, but we'll enter a time when we do have to do price reductions. This is a tool that is incredibly valuable to be able to go in and do this. And this is something that you can do a Zoom call with, just like I'm doing right now. I can log in and I can show my client these things. I can say, look at what happens. I'm just going to get here and do the change.
This is only for listings though. We can't do this as part of a CMA, correct?
We can't do this as part of it. Correct. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that is accurate. Yeah. Questions about this?
Can you print that chart somehow?
Yeah, but it doesn't look very good.
Okay.
It's not really designed to be printed. The best thing that I would probably do is do maybe a screenshot or something of that top section. That might be the most impactful way to do it. Other questions? This kind of goes over the three components. We talked about lead capture. We talked about the monthly drip campaign. And we talked about the BMA listing side of things. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to see here, or something that I didn't cover, or something that you are confused about?
No, but I have a question about the drip campaign. Would it be too much to have your contacts in Buyside and doing the drip campaigns in My Desk?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they're two very different things.
Okay.
If you think it might be too much, pick up the phone and talk to them.
Okay.
We're always looking for reasons to reach out and pick up the phone and speak to clients and say, hey, how are you liking market insights? Good, great, great, great. Hey, I've got a report here that's even more specific that'll give you a monthly update on what your home is worth. It uses a couple different metrics. It uses Zillow. It uses this data. It uses that data. It's a robot, so it's not 100%. It's not as good as me coming in and telling you what your home is worth, but it gives you kind of a good idea.
Okay. And then there's no way to put your whole database into Buyside at one time?
Boy, I wish there was.
Yeah, me too. That'd be incredible.
Yeah. Nope, it's a one-shot deal.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. If there aren't any more questions, that was what I wanted to go over today. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I hope it was helpful. And let me know if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thanks, Colin.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sun. Oh, I got a chat.
Thank you much.
Oh, thanks, Cassie. Appreciate it.